Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. I have a story that I want to share. It's actually a story I want to share with Anderson, but with other people. It's a story about legacy and perseverance, and I've been just churning over this story a ton recently. And here's the reason why. It's a story about my dad, and last month I lost my dad to stomach cancer. He went from diagnosis to death within 3.5 weeks, and it's been really hard. Um, I'm really glad I got to spend a majority of those 3.5 weeks with him. Got to share a lot of memories and hear a lot of stories. And I wish I could have gotten this on video, and I don't know why I didn't think it through, but I'm gonna put this on video for him, and I think this is important, and I hope Anderson can pass this on to his kids because it's really important. So. Anyways, let's get going. This is the story. My dad was in the Air Force for a while, and then became an owner operator of a gas station, which was fine, but it wasn't a career job. His brother had become an elevator guy, and he thought, oh, that's the perfect career. Like, that's the thing I need to do. So he got on with his brother's company. But there's a problem. He needed to become unionized. He needed to go get a labor card from the local union. And so he had to go to downtown Chicago and talk this guy into giving him a labor card. So he goes in, and it's a small lobby, and there's one of these like bank teller windows, thick glass, and a tray to pass things back and forth, and you could talk through that. And so my dad's talking to this guy Charlie, and he's trying to give him all the understanding he needs to, and all the info he needs to get this card. And I think Charlie just doesn't really like my dad, but maybe he doesn't perfectly qualify. He could probably make an exception, but Charlie doesn't seem to connect with my dad. And my dad has a perception of like, this guy's lived a hard life, and life has not been kind to him. And so he's like, all right, well, what time do you open tomorrow? And Charlie's like, 9. All right, I'll see you then. So my dad comes back, and he is like, all right, Charlie, you ready to give me my card? And he's like, no, not going to do it. So my dad hung out all day and, just would continue to annoy him and try to ask him questions, try to get to know him. The second day he comes in, and it's like, hey, Charlie, you're a real jerk sometimes, but I kind of like you. What kind of coffee do you like? Do you take cream and sugar? And Charlie's like, black? Like, he's so befuddled by my dad, and my dad spends the whole day there. And then on the third day, my dad goes back in, and Charlie's just like had enough. He's had it up to here with my dad's annoyance and his kindness, and he's like, here's your card, please leave. I love it so much. Like, look at that perseverance. Well, here's what's interesting. My dad actually didn't stop coming to the labor office after that. He didn't necessarily go every day, but he wanted to annoy Charlie with kindness and love. And he could tell that there was things about Charlie that, he wanted to break through. So he found out about Charlie that he had a disability and he couldn't drive, and he had to take public transportation. And so my dad would go in and visit him and be like, hey, can I give you a ride home tonight? How about next week? Can I give you a ride to work? And Charlie was uncomfortable with it, but he finally was like, you know what, that would be really great. And my dad built a friendship with Charlie and really cared for him well. And so this is a story of perseverance to get what you want, what you need, but also to give away yourself and to care for someone else. And I love that so much. And so I want Anderson to be able to share that with his kids. And so that's why I wanted to record this. I also just want to share a little of my own application, because I've been churning through the concept of perseverance in a lot of different ways, and one of which is with this book. Oh, the book. Of course it was going to tie in with the book. Oh my gosh. So I hate how much self-promotion I've had to do with this book. I feel like I'm annoying people. Hey guys, I've written a book. Oh my gosh. But I'm trying to do all the things that they say that you're supposed to do. And I was telling a friend about this the other day, how tired I was of this, and I just feel like I've probably beaten everyone up. And he said, well, hang on, like, you're in your book, you clearly say this isn't the story you would have written for yourself. It's the story that God has written in your life. It's his story. And and you've already shared with me how the book has been impactful for maybe not everyone, but enough people that it's probably worth some self-promotion. Here's the thing. Is this self-promotion or is this kingdom promotion? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And he's like, no, seriously, you got to go for this. You got to just shed the insecurity about it, and you need to persevere in this. And I was like, okay. So I've been in this mode of reaching out to a ton of people and saying like, hey, I don't know if you've heard I've written the book, but I'd love for you to read it. It's, really cheap on Kindle. Just get it and read it and leave me a review. Reviews are the largest factor in the whole Amazon algorithm. And so when the book turns 1, I'm going to do some Amazon ads and some more promotion and stuff, because I don't want to do self-promotion. I want to do kingdom promotion. And I think the best way to promote the kingdom is to promote perseverance and endurance in the face of suffering. And that's perfect. And I don't want this to be just something that I persevere for my own gain. I want it to persevere for someone else's gain, just like my dad was able to do with Charlie. And so that's why I've been churning through this. And maybe that correlation's weak, but it feels so real for me right now that I wanted to put this out there for prosperity's sake, but also just for you guys to know that my mindset is changing, and I hope you understand that you've got a story. Maybe it's your parents' story, maybe it's your own story, but persevere to share it, because I think it really does matter. Our authenticity can speak volumes, and not just to our sons and hopefully grandsons and daughters down the road, but to people all around us. So that was long. I appreciate you hanging in there. That's what I have to say. So thanks for watching all of this. Love you guys. Appreciate you, and suffer well. I'll see ya.